Hi, my name is Eric, and I have the awesome opportunity to share with you the last fruit of the Spirit for our Wednesday night Kids Huddle. And a lot of the leaders, our amazing leaders, have been sharing stories on all the fruits of the Spirit over the last several weeks. And this one, self-control, has been a very special one to me during the past few months. So today I'm going to talk about self-control, control that we have and choices we can make. And I'm also going to touch on control, on who is in control and why it's awesome that God is in control. So God is in control. And I want to share this with you through a couple stories. It's actually my summer vacation. And right now we're in summer and we're not experiencing our usual summer. We are all having summer in a new way. But for me as a kid, we would go on trips. We would go on trips through taking airplanes and going on cars. And on the airplane, we'd fly to Hawaii to visit my grandparents. And we'd also drive to the mountains for some camping. And I want to share my experiences doing those things. And something that would happen often on an airplane is turbulence. First of all, I thought the airplane ride was boring often. But other times it was scary. Other times it made me nervous. It made me scared. It made me feel like things were out of control, especially when this thing called turbulence happens. So let's see what turbulence is. Turbulence is violent or unsteady movement of air. Well, what does that do to the airplane? It shakes the airplane. It rattles the airplane. It makes the airplane go back and forth and sway. It's chaotic. And when that would happen, I would hold onto my chair in the passenger seat. I'd hold onto my chair. I'd grab my mom, and I would be freaking out. I would look out the window and look at the wing and be thinking, is that wing okay? Like, is that wing working right? I see it flapping and moving. Is that what it's supposed to do? And is the pilot doing the right thing? I don't know. Is the pilot doing the right thing right now? And very similarly, when I'd go on my trips with my family, we would take high. I don't like high. I don't like being up high. Heights scare me. Tiny, winding, which is turning, roads. And these roads are often near the edge of the mountain. And sometimes the weather wouldn't be right, or it'd be foggy and hard to see. And I'd be in the back seat telling my dad, slow down. Dad, turn like this, go this way, move the car over here. And I'm a kid. Okay, I'm telling him what to do because I wanted to be in control. Okay, I wanted to be in control of this thing. And right now we're experiencing both of these things. Well, not really, but turbulence and winding roads. We're experiencing those things without actually going anywhere. Things feel out of control in the same way. Schools in person are canceled and is canceled. Vacations canceled. Favorite places are closed. Can't go to church in person. Beaches were closed for a bit. And no matter who we thought was in control, wasn't actually in control. Our schools, our principals and teachers, school got closed. Our parents, or my parents, are usually the ones who were in charge of creating the vacation. They were in charge of getting the flight, making the plans. And no matter how much your parents may have planned this summer and were in charge and in control of vacations, they were canceled. And our favorite places were closed. All to realize who is really in control. Who is really always in control? And we'll talk about that in a sec. Before that, I want to answer these two questions. And I promise you, these aren't trick questions. These are pretty simple. Can I fly an airplane? can I fly a jumbo jet with 200 people in it to Hawaii like I did when I was flying on vacation? Could I fly that plane to Hawaii? And when I was 7 years old, could I drive that car on those roads, on those windy, tiny roads? Could I do that? Could I jump from the back seat to the front seat and take the wheel from my dad and say, hey, I got this? The answer? No. I could not. I cannot. I can't fly an airplane. And you know what? It's a good thing I was not in control in those situations. In those situations, when I thought things were out of control, it's a good thing I wasn't put in control, or it's a good thing I wasn't in control. Because you know what? The pilot, the person flying the airplane, that person knows how to fly. That person knows what all the buttons do, knows how to work the jets and the wings, how to do it all, how to fly through the air correctly. I don't know those things. And my dad knows how to drive, but it's also great that he was driving because he loves me and cares about me and wants what's best for me always and will protect me. And God is the best of those two things. God is the best and the smartest and knows everything, is the most powerful. And with that, he loves us so much and wants to protect us and wants what's best for us. He is the best of those two things, and he is in control. To show God's love and his control, I wanted to look at this verse briefly. And it says, for I am sure that neither death nor life, so I know that not death, not life, not angels, not rulers, not things present, so not things happening now or not things happening later in the future. There's nothing powerful enough, nothing too high or too deep, nothing else in the world and all of creation will be able to separate me. Nothing will be able to separate me from the love of God in Christ Jesus our Lord. There's nothing that will separate me from that. And now we're going to talk about how that fits with self-control. So when we realize we are thankfully not in control, we can enjoy life with self-control. When you give God what is already his, God is in control. When you just give it to him and surrender that to him and say, you know what, God, you are in control, you will have so much peace that you can enjoy the things you can control. I actually saw a magic trick. Last week, I saw a magic trick, and this is how the magic trick went. I just remembered this a couple minutes ago. This man came up to me and he showed me, he got out a coin, and I have a coin here. And he got out a coin and he handed it to me in my hand. So he put it in my hand. And he said, okay, you got the coin. I said, yeah, I got the coin. All right, I'm holding on to this coin. And he said, I'm going to wave my hand over your hand, and I'm going to make it disappear. And I said, no, you're not. I gripped it as hard as I could. I had my fist so tight, my arm was flexed, and I was holding onto that coin. He waved his hand over my hand. I'm holding this coin tight. There's nothing going to I'm never going to let go of this coin. And he said, okay, now give me the coin. And I opened my hand and there was no coin. And the coin didn't disappear. I just never had the coin. I never was holding the coin, but it felt like I was. It felt like I was holding on strong and tight, and I was tiring myself holding this coin. And that's what control is often. We are holding onto control, thinking that we have it, but we are not in control. And it's a good thing we're not in control. And now it's time for us to just give that to God. Give God what he already has. Well, you're not giving it to him. He already has it. But it's like that coin. Let go, realize you don't have it, and thank God that you don't. On this airplane, on my trips, when I stopped thinking about the wing, when I stopped thinking about the jets and is the plane flying right, what is the pilot doing? When I stopped thinking about that, I was able to enjoy the flight. I was able to pick, I had a snack bag, okay? And I was able to pick, do I want my Twix first or do I want to go straight to the Reese's? I was able to select movies, select games on my iPad. I was able to pick sodas. There was a cart that would come down and I was given the choice. Hey, do you want a Sprite or Dr. Pepper? One Dr. Pepper, please. But I wouldn't have been able to enjoy those things if I was focused on the things that I wasn't in control of. If I was focused on the airplane and how it was flying, I wouldn't be able to enjoy the flight. And God will give you gifts in your life. God will give you things in your life. He has already given you things. And if you don't realize that He is in control, if you don't focus on what you can only control, you will miss them. You won't be able to enjoy them because you are looking at things that's not even in your control, when you should be looking at the things that's in your self-control. So self-control gives you freedom. Self-control gives you options and choices to enjoy things. And while I say that, self-control gives you choices to enjoy things, okay? That's while being loving, responsible, respectful, and like Jesus. I could have sat on the airplane and said, oh, I have the choice to kick the seat in front of me. Well, that's not being respectful or loving. I could have sat on the airplane and I had the choice to be loud as possible. And that's not being respectful. On my drive, I'd be with my brother, and I had the choice to annoy him or bother him or do anything I can to start a fight on those car drives. That is not the self-control choice. When we break self-control, when we're not being loving, responsible, and respectful and like Jesus, we are missing the point. We are missing, again, the things that God is giving us and allowing us to enjoy. And instead of annoying my brother, I made the choice that God gave me to enjoy my family, to pick the music in the car. I had those choices to make, while my dad had the choices to drive the car. Those were in his control. I was able to enjoy things in my control. So, bottom line, give God the control that He already has, and be thankful that He is in control. Be thankful that He loves you, that He knows everything, and He is in control, that He's flying the plane, He's driving the car. And while He's doing that, while He is in charge of those things, we now can give praise and be thankful for the things He gives us. Enjoy the things He gives us. Enjoy the freedom and the choices that we have to enjoy all those gifts. And of course, we have to do that while being loving, responsible, respectful, and like Jesus.